If you're interested in 55 plus communities here in Florida, this video is for you. A while back, we did a video on new construction between Westlake and Arden. This is the same kind of video. There are two places, there are two 55 plus communities that we find we bring to clients to more places than other. These are two places, if you're looking at 55, you're going to want to know about. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by EXP. Welcome. We get a good following when it comes to people looking at 55 plus communities. Don't know how well you guys know that. There are several good options here in our South Florida area. There's several good options all around Florida, but I'm going to focus here on South Florida. We're going to do two of the most popular communities that we see people. Lots of times we see people, they look at these two communities for good reasons. They're very different, and at the same time, they have pros and cons that each one lacks. What the other one lacks, the other one has. So that's why they're good. This week, we're going to look at CRESSWIND. This week, we're going to look at RIVERLAND here in South Florida. So I'm going to start with the map here. I find, and I get good feedback when it comes to the map, that people like it. I know that when we moved down here 18 years ago, we would have liked it. I'm a map person, so I'm going to start with the map here. And I'm centered here right around Westlake, which is where we're going to cover. We're going to cover CRESSWIND first, that's where we're going to start. And we're going to zoom out to give you an idea where we are. 18 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, we truly find an honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. If you're thinking about moving to anywhere in Florida and you want to ask questions with people who've actually done it before, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text, but literally the two best ways is in the description and the comment section down below. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. Palm Beach County. Palm Beach is Boca Raton to Jupiter, Florida, which is up here. Jupiter Islands, right about, there you go, Jupiter. 1.5 million people live there. Westlake, which is where CRESSWIND is the fastest growing city really in Florida. It's been a real true phenomenon. In fact, small fact is this past year, we've had more closings in Westlake than any place else here at Living in Palm Beach, Florida. So like a lot of stuff, as you guys know, real estate prices have gone up considerably the last few years. So because of that, and because of what this community holds, a lot of people looking more to up north, Port St Lucie and RIVERLAND, which is our community number 2. But from here, West Palm Beach, which is the center of Palm Beach, to Port St Lucie is about an hour. It's a bit. It might not know how well it looks on the map. That's it zoomed out, but this to that is about an hour. We get people who want to stay next to Palm Beach, also looking at communities like Stewart, which is a little bit more south, but there are not that many new construction communities, really 55 plus new construction communities in Stewart. There are a lot in Port St Lucie. In fact, I'll go further. Port St Lucie is sort of a mecca when it comes to 55 plus communities right now. Oh, actually, let me repeat that. Port St Lucie is sort of a mecca when it comes to new construction here in South Florida. I think this video is really timely. If you're considering 55 plus communities, these are two that have a lot going on right now. CRESSWIND, they just announced I'll talk more about that in a minute. They just announced something called Project 21, which takes place on all their CRESSWIND communities. And RIVERLAND, they just opened their new section called Valencia Park. Whenever you see a Valencia, that's sort of a code word for GL Homes, 55 plus. So both these communities have a lot going on today. And I think if you're looking today at 55 plus, these are exciting time. This is an exciting time to see both these communities. So location-wise, CRESSWIND is west of West Palm Beach. It's sort of a similar concept to what Weston, Weston, is to Fort Lauderdale many years ago. As we run out of room, as we run out of land here, available land for builders to build on, they've looked here at the Western communities, and that's where Crestwind is. And this is when all is said and done, Westlake is going to be approximately 4,000 homes. Origination started about in 2016, but it really has go forward in terms of a full force in terms of people moving in the last, let's say, few years. So one of our most common questions we get when it comes to any of these Western communities is, how far are we to the beach? So Westlake to the beach here, which is the closest beach, is going to be Palm Beach and or Lake Worth Beach. It's going to take you about a half hour. What's nice about what they're doing here at Westlake is they have they're building a town center, they're building infrastructure that they're going to make it sort of they're making it like a self-sufficient city. When they bought this property, when they started developing Cresswind here, it was originally sold. They originally bought it from Minto, who controls the whole area of Westlake. A brief history. I don't want to go too much into it because we've gone into this in several videos. Minto bought that whole area to build those 4,000 homes. They sold to Coulter Homes about 900 homes roughly that they're currently working on at Crestwind. It is the only 55 plus in Westlake, Florida, fastest growing area here in Florida. And we see a lot of people looking at, because Coulter is a good builder, and they have a lot going on. This is one of the, and it's also one of the most affordable. I got to say that. If you're looking, if you want a lean HOA with great amenities and that lifestyle that 55 plus brings, Crestwind is going to be really at the top of the list when it comes to that. So the builders in these communities, when it comes to Crestwind, it's Coulter. When it comes to Riverland up in Port St Lucie, it is GL Homes. Really, as you probably know, we do a lot of, if you follow the channel, you know this, we do a lot of new construction. It is what we do. We have strong relationships with the builder. We are a relocation company, and we help people looking at other places to, come here to this part of the world we call Florida, and not just this part of Florida, South Florida, but other parts as well. So if that's you, you owe it to yourself to, give us a shot. Give us a shot. Independent representation, we'll go into that later. There's nothing out of your pocket when it comes to using a company like us living in Palm Beach, Florida. So the real premise by why people look at these two communities is, and I'm going to hold on this a few times because it's important. It's an important point, is location. We find that the amenities up north in Riverland are a lot more elaborate than pretty much anywhere else. That's one of the cons. If you're looking at the two different communities, one of the cons relative to Riverland for Crestwinds is their amenities are not as elaborate, but true to form, because Westlake is a community that is really lean when it comes to HOA. They're all age community. As an example, their HOAs are like $100 to $150. It's the same thing that translates over to Crestwind. A lot of 55 plus. People move there for the lifestyle, and because they move there for the lifestyle, they employ like social directors and lifestyle directors. And they keep you busy with elaborate amenities, so that you're going to pay a little bit more in HOA fees. So the HOA fee at Crestwind is approximately $350. It moves up every year slightly, like all HOA fees do. But when you look at that versus what you pay in other communities, it is a bargain, or it is, I'm not saying a bargain, it is lower on an absolute basis when it comes to HOA fees versus their competitors in other 55 plus communities. So the premise, as I was starting to say, the premise for why people look at these two is like a lot of people, because Palm Beach is so big, is so populated. It's roughly about 1.5 million people. It seems like everybody around the country knows people that live in this area, especially if you're from the Northeast and maybe even the Midwest. People know people here. So I find when a lot of people look at the two communities, one of the big factors is family. If you have family in Boynton Beach or Delray or Lake Worth or West Palm Beach or Jupiter, Generally speaking, Palm Beach Gardens, generally speaking, if that's an important factor, people stay in Crestwind, even though there's amenities might not be as elaborate. Price point, by the way, are pretty similar between the two communities. So if being close to family is like ultra important to you, that's when people pick Crestwind over Riverland. By the way, if you go into one of these sales centers, whether it's Crestwind, whether it's Riverland, or any new construction on your own, going right to the seller, right to the sales center without representation, I think you're crazy. We, at living in Palm Beach, Florida, highly recommend independent representation. Out of your pocket, the cost to you is zero. It's the builder who pays a company like ours living in Palm Beach, Florida, and they're happy to do it. You can even ask them. They'll tell you. There's no discount for not using a company like ours. What happens is the builders have a separate marketing budget, and they pay people like us, like realtors like us, companies like us, out of that budget. And they're happy to do so because what they want a company like ours, like living in Palm Beach, Florida, to introduce people, perhaps like you, to their beautiful communities. We provide tremendous value when it comes to helping represent you. We keep the builder accountable. I have a transaction coordinating team that will keep them, we'll keep track of what's going on. We'll help look over the contract. While we are not lawyers, I've seen so many of these contracts myself. I know what they look like. In general, the contracts benefit the builders, but we can give you guidance on things such as this. We'll be there for your inspections if you like. If you're out of town and you want to take pictures of your home from time to time, we can help with that. In any event, if you have any questions about what independent representation looks like, reach out to our team. We've helped so many people relocate to Florida, and we absolutely love it. So at Crestwind, they had this thing called Project 21. Here are all the models. There are like approximately 13 models, floor plans, I'm sorry. And they have about, I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 7 or 8 floor models when you go there. If you follow this channel, I did a video recently, what happened at Crestwind. If you're interested in this community, you really want to watch that video. They really did upgrade their models at Coulter. This Project 21 is something they've done in all other communities around the country. They have a big significant presence out in Sarasota. By the way, we do business out in Sarasota. So just because we're located here in Southeast Florida, and you want to get some advice on who to use out in these other places, reach out to our team. That's one of the benefits working with a professional relocation team like ourselves. We are a new home co-broker. I don't say that often enough. We have strong relationships with all the builders. I pride myself in getting to know the builders. If you walk into any of these places, you ask them about me, they know who I am. I find that one of the things that why people use us is we can tell you the differences between the different community, not just these two, but any community. And so we can help point you in the right direction. You tell us what's important to you, and we can give you a good idea as to what you can expect and what you should look for. The important thing, as I was saying about independent representation, is we need to be there on your first visit. Can't even begin to tell you how many times people have called me like after visiting and they want us to try and help. At that point, it's too late. It's generally too late. The builder really needs us there on the first visit. If you go to Crestwind, the Coulter homes, they're all like single story, but they'll also tell you, the models that is, they'll also tell you that you can build a second floor to them. One of the big differences in their old Crestwind models versus their new is they're much more customizable. And I get people that look at both the Geo homes and the Coulter, and they're both like at the top of the list in terms of quality. And everyone so far we've taken to Crestwind have felt that it's been such a nice upgrade in terms of the quality of the home. Not that they had a bad quality of home, they had a great, but they made it so that it's much more customizable. And that's a factor that is really important to lots of buyers, we find. So if you haven't seen it, after this video, we did a video on the pros and cons of 55 plus communities. First thing you have to know is it's different. There are more regulations, and you have to sort of be used to that. But the big pro when it comes to a 55 plus community is the lifestyle. And here are at CRESSWIND the amenities. And while they're not as elaborate as what you find at Riverland, you have a nice pool area. You have a fitness center, yoga. You've got bocce ball courts, pickleball courts. Pickleball is really huge in this part of the country. I know it's across the whole country it is, but here, especially in South Florida, um, high-speed internet, lawn. They want to make it so that you don't really need to do anything. Like everything is done for you. And if you want, what I really recommend if you're considering it, and reach out to our team and I can send it to you. Ask about their calendar. When you go to any 55 plus community, ask about their calendar because you want to see what kind of events they have coming up. It'll give you an idea as to what's going on, not just for that month, but going forward in that community when it comes to activities. So before I leave CRESSWIND, I got to tell you about both of these communities have these great programs for relocation people, for people who want to see the community from out of town. At CRESSWIND, they have a program called Fly and Buy. Reach out to our team if you want to know what that's about. Over at Riverland, they have a program which I think is, quite frankly, we're unbiased here at living in Palm Beach, Florida. Quite frankly, I think the Stay and Play program over at Riverland is even better. They're both good programs, but I'll go into that a little bit more. Stick around to the end because if you're looking at Riverland, I would definitely consider taking them up on their Stay and Play program. So I talked about the two reasons why people look at both these places. If there is no allegiance to any area in this area in South Florida, like if you don't care how far away you are from the cultural center and activities of Miami, if you don't care about being next to family in Palm Beach, if you just purely go by community and what the amenities offer, Riverland is your community. It is, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it is the Disneyland of 55 plus communities. We did a video recently on Valencia Park. It is their newest community. They have several different, they started with Valencia Cay. They moved on to Valencia Grove. They went on to Valencia Walk, and now they're at Valencia Park. Valencia Walk is like a smaller, of the ones so far, is one of the smallest community. They have this paseo where you can drive between all these communities. I mentioned pickleball. If pickleball is your number one consideration, not that it really should be or will be, but maybe it is, it's the best there. I mean, they have like 30, I'll look up the number. I think it's 37. They have covered pickleball courts there. So the activity-wise, there is nothing better than Riverland. All right, let me go to the map here and show you. So we're going to zoom out of Westlake and Coulter's CRESSWIND. We're going to go up to Port St Lucie right here. This is about an hour drive. So if you need, like I said, if you need to be close to family, you're probably not going to want to pick this. It's an hour away. But if you want to, it's an hour away. It's not like you're in Oshkosh, Missouri or wherever. You can get there pretty quickly. They just showed, because the map, Google, I've said this before, don't understand Google. They used to be really good at keeping these maps up. They've been a little bit slow in my experience lately, but the very first Riverland community is Valencia Cay, and this is where you are. So you are a little bit west of the ocean. So if you're looking at from here to here, from Riverland to the ocean, it's similar. It is about a half hour. There are two really big places. This is a great place. Stewart got like this historic downtown fishing village. It is a beautiful place. So if you're looking to get closer to the beach, that's one place. There's Stewart Beach, which is a beautiful beach. And the other really nice beach is, let me see if I can find it here, Jensen Beach. So these are, if you're looking to go to the beach from Riverland, these are the beaches you're going to frequent. So going back to Riverland, you're pretty close, as you can tell from here. This is Riverland. Here's 95, Route 95, which is the big road that goes north and south here. So if you want to get like south to like Palm Beach and go north to, let's say, Orlando. Orlando's really close here. Orlando, you're looking at about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes tops to go to Disneyland, the Disneyland of Disneyland. So you're pretty close to that. So that makes it pretty convenient. But this whole area is Riverland. And you have Cay here, you got Walk here, you've got Grove here. this area, a lot of this area here to the west is owned by Coulter as well. So their plans are not really been stated yet of what they're going to do. They're also the builders in general. I find that even though we have great relationships with them and we know things before anybody pretty much when it comes to these communities, they are still very, very hush hush. As an example, down in Palm Beach Gardens, there's a community called Avenir, which if you follow the channel, we've covered that many times. There's a new community called Apex, which is GL Homes, and just adjacent to that is Coulter. The Coulter community. It's not even started. We knew about this community long ago. And it's because of our relationship with the builders. So I sat down with the people of Riverland literally last week it was, beginning of last week. And I do know they own this property. I do know that they have their eyes on more development there. Now, stay tuned if you want to get a sense as to what's going on. But at some point, they're going to develop this piece of property. Just to give you an idea of the size of these communities, they're big. Riverland is a huge community. It's much larger than CRESSWIND. So here's the four. When they started the K, it was 1,087 homes. So that right there beats in size-wise, beats CRESSWIND. Then they opened the Grove, which is 1,133 homes. Then they opened Walk. Valencia Walk is 887 homes. I like the ring of that number, 887 homes. So it's a smaller community, a little bit more intimate, maybe, a little bit more room on side to side of the homes. Park is so far the biggest. Valencia Park just opened. There are 1,365 homes. I got to say this, and this is something that another benefit to using a company like ours. When it comes to especially like Riverland, there are homes available right now in the existing market. If you walk into the sales center at the Valencia, they're currently located at Valencia Walk. If you walk into their sales center at Riverland, they're not going to tell you about what's existing because they want to sell you their new home. We living in Palm Beach, Florida, we know what's going on over there. And if that's a better fit for you, if there's a quick delivery home, we'll talk more a little about that in a second. If there's a better quick delivery home available, we're going to tell you about it. They won't. Also, they want to sell you their community. We are unbiased when it comes to whether it's existing versus new construction is one factor. But if there's a better fit, as an example, if Valencia Grand down in Boynton Beach is a better fit, we're going to tell you about it. If any of the other Port St Lucie 55 plus communities like Del Webb, as an example, is a better fit, we're going to tell you about it. So that's one of the benefits when it comes to working with a company like that, like us. We know the builders, we know the communities really well, and we want to do what's best for you. And we're going to find the best fit when it comes to whether it's 55 plus or any new construction home here in Florida. So in terms, I mentioned looking over the contract, there are some nuances between the contracts, in between Valencia Park and Valencia Walk. Reach out to our team. I'm not going to elaborate here in this video, but there are some things that like I said, we've seen a lot of these. We do a lot of business in both these communities. We've seen a lot of these contracts. So I can give you an idea as to what we mean by that. If you reach out to us, again, the best way is through a Zoom. Those are by far the best. We can share the maps with you and show you stuff. But suffice it to say, there's a lot going on at Riverland. Each community has their own, at Riverland have their own separate clubhouse. But in addition to that, they've got these two areas. One's called the Arts and Cultural Center, which is really nice. One of the things that impresses me is that they have like a cooking area. Like if you want to, they have like these world-renowned chefs come in. They do cooking classes. These classes sell out very fast. So you have to get on the line and register as soon as they're announced. And then they do like a cooking demonstration. You actually cook there while they're teaching class. That's one of the things they have at the Arts and Cultural Center. They've got lots of other stuff as well. They also have this wellness and fitness area, which is sort of like their gym area, and they have a juice bar. And I mean, the amenities are crazy. And one of the things about both these communities are very golf cart friendly. So although they don't have golf courses in their community, it is common for people to take their golf carts to all the different things, the restaurants. They're building a town center. Actually, I should say for both. There's going to be a town center in Westlake. There's going to be a town center in Riverland. As I mentioned in my previous Riverland video, I just released it not too long ago, about not even a month ago. They're going to emulate the town center that they see over at Alton, down in Palm Beach Gardens. They had tremendous success with that town center. That's something that they're going to do. So you can take your golf cart from your garage, take it to the Paseo, right to the restaurants, and it's all going to be there if you live at Riverland in Port St Lucie, Florida. Okay, in terms of collections, they have like 5 collections when it comes to Valencias, all the Valencias and Riverland. The Crown is their most expensive. All right, here we go. I mentioned Crown is their most expensive. Whoop, that's this one here, got them backwards. And then we have the Premier. Whoa, there you go, is the lower one. The Crown, just give you prices. So if you're looking at, I should have talked about this with the CRESSWIND. If you're looking at CRESSWIND, you can get a home in there for 500. High end, you can go up to $1 million. I've had clients that have spent over $1 million in CRESSWIND. But the sweet spot in CRESSWIND is going to be around 6, 7, 800,000 today. That's with the land and the home itself. If you go to their website, it will show that it's lower. It's because they're not including the land. Don't register on their website, either one, any new construction. Contact us. If you register on their website, they will assign you a consultant. You want the best consultant working for you. Riverland, we've got a few of them. I think they have some of the best people in terms of they know the community very well. And for me, it's easy because I know that they're in good hands when we introduce you to them. But anyways, again, don't register. Help, let us do it so we can set you up with the right person there. Within all these, and it's true with a couple of other GL communities, such as like Valencia Grand, this middle collection is the hottest. So when they have lotteries and there's high demand, like a release, a new community, the middle collection always seems to be the hottest. So their signature collection, which is right in the middle, the price of the home, base price of the home, is approximately $550, and it goes up to south of $600,000. Doesn't include the land. You can spend over $100,000 in the land. So you're looking at about roughly the same price as CRESSWIND as you are in the middle collection over at Riverland. But if you look at the Crown, they're Trivoli. And if you look at my last video, I actually was in that model. It's a beautiful model. It's a 3436. That's 3,436 square feet under air, which is a larger home for a 55 plus community. That base price is roughly in the mid 8s. So you're looking at about 900 to get in there. But anyways, I really feel that both these builders have quality. When it comes to, the quality of build is extremely high compared to the competitors in and around all Florida. So I can't go through everything what they have amenity-wise. I mean, it is tremendously elaborate at Riverland, more than any place else in the area in South Florida. But here we go, pickleball. 37 pickleball courts, and they're building 16 more. Unbelievable, right? 8 of which are going to be covered. If you're a tennis fan, don't be jealous because they have that for you too. They currently have 8, so it's not as many. But as you know, tennis takes up more space. It's also they're building 2 new ones. There's a tennis pro on staff, so you can take tennis lessons and all that good stuff. So if you're into tennis, you're into pickleball, they do an elaborate for the whole area actually pickleball tournament. If this is your thing, this is an area you want to check out. The HOA fee is different for each community. It's going to be a little bit more for like a walk because there's less homes, and they're spreading, and it can't spread out over the more, like in Park, where you have 1,300 plus homes. It's going to be a little bit less. So roughly, you're looking at about, in Park, I believe I quoted as 401 the last video. That changes, but roughly $400 is going to be your HOA fee. If you go to like Valencia Grand, it's like $700. That's down south in lower and southern Palm Beach County. So it is very affordable for what you get. It's an extremely affordable HOA fee. I mentioned the stay and play. I mean, this is such a good program. And the reason they do it, I mean, they have such a good success rate with people who go and attend these stays and plays and buy, which is why they do it. I actually have a Living in Palm Beach. We have, whenever you see a Living in channel on YouTube, That's us. That's our company. We have people across the company, across the country, living in Denver, living in Houston, living in Portland, living in Phoenix. I mean, we work with them. They're our partners. And we're in the process of bringing some of them over here to experience the stay and play, because we do get a lot of relocations from those areas here. Stay and play, here you go. $99. So it's 3 nights, 3 days, 2 nights, $99. You get to stay in one of their models. You can't get lodging for that kind of price even. You get to stay in their model for those 2 nights, get an idea as to what Riverland's all about. It's the best way to experience it. Reach out to our team. I can help set you up with this. They set up these, they have like these paths, it's called the Passport of Fun. They want you to go to check out, like, here's the arts and cultural center I talked about. Here's the wellness and fitness center. They want you to check out all these different places while you're there. They do a great job marketing. Riverland Playbook. If you want this, reach out to my team. I'll make sure you get it. But if you're going to experience, if you want to experience Riverland, the very best way is through their stay and play. As I mentioned, the reason why these two places, CRESSWIND and Riverland, are so popular is they're both, I mean, they're both, from an HOA perspective, fairly affordable, number one. CRESSWIND is the edge of what we find. If people really find it to be a really high priority to be near their family in Palm Beach, they go with CRESSWIND. They all look at these two. These two are like the two most popular 55 plus communities to check out here in the area. If family in Palm Beach is important, then you're going to go with CRESSWIND. If you're okay with an hour ride into Palm Beach to visit people, you're going to go with Riverland. In any case, you can't go wrong with either CRESSWIND or Riverland here in South Florida. Port St Lucie, Westlake, 55 plus paradise here in South Florida.